Challenger series. Thumbs. Hands. Don't move! Go! Don't move! Go! Go! Don't move! Go! Steel on skin, chalk in the air. Step to the table if you really dare. Call your match, pick your hand. Only one leaves, you're the winner. Pressure hits when the crowd gets loud. No backing down when you're in this crowd. Built from pain, grip don't slip. All gas, no brakes. Enter the pen. Heartbeat pounding, no escape. Thumbs, hands, don't move, go! Summer Kickoff, 6 ticks. Break 'em down, break the wrist and twist. Latch at a coward licks. Only the strong survive. Pins don't lie, make it quick. You either win or you get pinned. One clean hit, make it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Collaborate and Pull Together. Tonight we have a very special lineup. We have two people representing the Eastern Seaboard. On the screen joining me right now is Geoff hailing from Florida, and in a little bit we're going to have Tyler all the way up in Maine. So literally we have from the northernmost part of the Eastern Seaboard to the southernmost part representing right here. Geoff, what's up, man? Good to see you again.
What's up, brother? Happy to be here.
Man, so to give you guys a little bit of a background before we dive into who Geoff is, I got to meet this gentleman down in Tennessee, and I was utterly impressed. I didn't get the opportunity to pull it in until the after pulls, and this guy's got a gas tank that, I aspire to have. He's in my weight class, and so that does pay the target does back for me to shoot for. I don't know if I'm going to do it in my lifetime because I just hit the Masters division, so I'm an old man now. But what have you been up to, Geoff, man? What's going on?
Just hitting that gym every day, trying to get the table time in when I can. It's a slow grind. You hit that point where you just got to keep pushing to make any progress. So that's where I'm at. Just trying to find different ways to enjoy it.
That's fair. Now, okay, how long ago did you get into the sport of arm wrestling?
Like really get into it, maybe 4 years.
Okay.
I think I had my first tournament though back in 2018. I did it just for fun, but when I was powerlifting.
Gotcha. So you're coming from a powerlifting background. How long were you powerlifting for?
From 2013 until 2019. So 6 years.
Okay. So you have a pretty solid base when it comes to that and a solid foundation.
Oh, yeah.
In your journey and transition from powerlifting to arm wrestling, what are some of the big parallels that you have noticed within the sports?
Programming for sure. Training methods are very similar as far as accumulating fatigue with volume, peaking for tournaments, weight cuts are the same. That was a big help. I used to have to cut 20 pounds because I would compete at 148, 165.
Holy
shit. Oh yeah. So, I'd walk around 175, 185, and I would always have to do, real big water cuts within 2 days of weighing in.
Now, do you notice or do you feel any diminishment in power when you do a cut that big?
Not anymore, man. I've learned how to rehydrate right. So people do it wrong. They'll diet real slowly over time, and when you do that, your body gets used to losing that weight slowly. So you're gonna reduce your strength, but when you do a real fast water cut and rehydrate immediately, your body doesn't notice anything. So you just sweat all the water out and you put it back on almost immediately. So there's zero change.
Gotcha. All right. Well, anybody who's looking to do a water cut properly, reach out to Geoff. He might have some tips and hints for you to how to do it safely and healthily too, without hurting yourself. Because I know a lot of people have hurt themselves, in the past type of deal. So, well, if anybody's looking for, a good pathway to success in that regard, it sounds like Geoff's got a good one. Now, we talked about the similarities. What about the differences? What are the big fundamental differences of arm wrestling and powerlifting?
Comes down to training again. It's the same, but it's different, man. So there's more things you have to train for arm wrestling. So powerlifting, 3 big movements. Arm wrestling is, you've got like 5 movements per style that you have to do. So for like hook training, I got to worry about, my cup, my back pressure, my side pressure. Sorry. Just lost my train of thought. Too many movements. So like if I'm trying to do max effort for powerlifting and like with peaking, so you'd hit, 70% of each lift, like 5-6 days out. With arm wrestling, you can't really do that with peaking. You have to figure out how to peak appropriately you don't want to like hit 70% of every lift in one day because you're going to fry your nervous system.
That's definitely a bit of a touch and go and exploration process, right? Because everybody is also a little different in that regard. So I find for myself there's not one size fits all, method where with powerlifting it's a pretty standard like this is how you do it, this is what you get out of it type of deal. You put A, B, and C in, you're gonna get X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
That's not really the same when it comes to arm wrestling, and that's one of the things I love about the sport because I don't program the way you do. I'm going to be honest. I don't. Could I benefit from it? Probably can. I made it kind of, I arm wrestle a whole lot. That's my programming. I arm wrestle a whole lot. I do it for and I do it for a very calculated amount of time each time I'm there. So I'll do like a 3-hour practice, but I'll be doing it at, 10 to 15-minute intervals type of deal. And so, I guess if you're looking at it from outside in and you're to take a pen and paper and say, okay, this is like your progression throughout the night, like it is a program to a certain degree, but it's definitely not the same concept. Yet a lot of people do see that, when they are arm wrestling, training for arm wrestling, and then they're also training for chasing a number in the gym, one tends to fall behind. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed because I used to be strictly table time. I would try to do twice a week and do my gym training around it. And my gym training always suffered. I was never able to bench. My lifts were always 50% what they could be. I switched that in the last couple years. I switched to more gym training, less table time. It was probably a year period where I did table time at most once a month. And I noticed I was always super strong when I did that and I made the most progress, but I plateaued after that year. So now I'm integrating that table time a lot more now, weekly on top of my gym training.
That's interesting to find the balance. Maybe I need to start incorporating that because I hope I'm not going to plateau. I'm 40 years old this year, and I got into the sport just about 60 years ago. So I already had some tendon setting in. I wasn't starting at a young age. That being said, how old are you? Or young you, I should say.
I'm 28 now.
Oh my God. To be 28 and in this sport, have your fresher tendons, man. Do you notice that you need to take supplements for your tendon health?
Not that I should be. I should be taking I forgot what it's called. It's like
Collagen?
Collagen is one of them. Collagen is definitely one of them. Like collagen peptides, proteins. No, there's like this because I used to manage a GNC. We used to have these joint supplements that I would take for joint pain, but I don't really take any of that stuff anymore. I try to just avoid putting myself in situations where I'm going to be hurting really bad. So, I try to avoid getting ripped open in practices. I can generally tell when I'm going to start hurting real bad when I'm training. So I try to avoid that as much as possible because it stalls my progress.
You know, It's train smart, right? You train smart, you don't have to heal as much or recover as much from beating the shit out of yourself. That's important. So tell me a little bit about the crew you train with. You're down in Florida. What part of Florida? Because it's a pretty large, I think one of the nation's largest arm wrestling scenes in Florida. Who do you where do you hang your hat?
So home gym is Pro Gear Gym. Shout out. I've got my practice
Mikey?
there. Yeah, Mikey Gym. We've got that practice there every Thursday. So that's typically the same 5 to 10 people. But there's like 15 practices within an hour and a half drive. So I might skip my Thursday practice and I'll go down to, we got one in Parish and we do that one on Wednesdays. It just depends on if somebody's hosting a real big practice or not, or who I'm trying to work with specifically. But yeah, there's way too many practices, man. There's some I've never even gone to that I didn't even know existed that are less than an hour away.
Honestly, I think it's a good problem for us to have, though. If there's too many practices, um, to a
Yeah,
degree, to a degree, because I personally like to be able to go grip up with as many hands as I possibly get. I find that anytime I go to a practice I may never have gone to previously, afterwards I have like a progression of level up. I actually, like if I'm plateaued at a certain point and I'm like, I'm just not getting any better because I'm not being challenged or I know who's going to destroy me here. So like it's just what's going to happen type of deal. I already know their style. I know how to work around it. And it's like, oh, I'm doing this again and doing this again. And I'll be like, I know I want you to do this. They just fall into old behaviors. But then I go to another practice that I've never seen these people before, never grouped up with them before. And all of a sudden I'm back down at the bottom, kind of like going from middle school to high school type of deal. Like, at the top of the class, then all of a sudden you're back at the bottom of the class. Like, okay, it's a humbling experience.
yeah, it's a catch-22 because yeah, I get to grip up with a lot of people at the practices, but there's so many practices that some people would rather just do the practices than go to any tournaments. And so, you'll have some practices that are 40, 50 people, but I'll never see those people at the tournament that's 20 minutes from their practice. So I'll never get to grip up with them in a competition sense, get to beat up on them on the side table at practice, but that's the extent I'll ever get to pull them.
Well, one of the things about that, and it's funny you mentioned, there's all different flavors of the sport, which I'm starting to realize. And that's one of the things that we're talking about. You see big in the community, you got, East versus West, who's bringing on people who seemingly to some of the purists and people who've been around the community for a long time, they don't necessarily deserve that space, or that spot per se. But in all reality, I think that that's a testament on the growth of the sport, right? Because people who have the way the sport is growing and the way we want it to grow, people say, hey, I want more events or I want more of this, I want more of anything surrounding the sport. We need some level of growth and injection of more eyes on the sport. So I'm a firm believer that Jeremy has earned his space in his own right. Not necessarily by being on the table and accolades on the table, but because of what he brings to the sport and to the table. So that's one side of it. But the other side, there are some guys that, hey, you may not enter a tournament, but you're going to help me get and beat the guy who has a very similar style. You might be one of the best. You might kill it at a tournament and take first place in every class or a podium on every single class that you enter, but you choose not to, but you're going to help me to take that place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the mindset. It's all about looking at seeing how the growth of the sport is. And that's what the premise of this entire podcast is, and giving people opportunities that normally wouldn't necessarily have it, because either A, they don't have the withdrawal or understanding how to do it on their own, or B, they do have all that understanding, but they're a little shy. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm here to break people out of their shells and find out what makes them tick, what makes them work, and how I can help them get to the next level in any capacity. Even if, let's say, they're a better arm wrestler than I am, but maybe they don't know how to market themselves. I'm blessed because I landed myself in position at the Monster Factory not too long ago, and I mean, Jake Houston demolished me. That would be a fun match with you and Jake, I think. But he demolished me. Definitely had me dead to rights. I felt like a fish out of water. I didn't make any of the necessary adjustments as I should have. I don't know if that would have made any differences because of how many levels above me he was. But afterwards I was like, I'm sorry. I feel like I failed everyone who watched me. And no, you got up there. You took an opportunity that somebody else may have been a little bit more deserving, but you made the best out of it. Period. And that to me, while it's a loss on paper, on record, it's a win in my arm wrestling journey, because now it gave me like a blueprint of what I need to work on. If I were to face him today, the version I am today versus the one I saw in December or November rather, I don't think the results would be the same. He'd still walk away with a win, but it wouldn't be a sweep. We got some people in the chat I want to shout out. We got Ryan Bull Bellinger. What's up, man? Thank you for tuning in. That's a beast of a human right there. And we got Timothy Bushy, who's also on the card with you. That's also a beast of a human. Listen, I do want to say the card, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can't quite see it behind me too well, but the card is pretty heavy on 176, 185 class. I am pretty. I did do that on purpose. I did not do that on purpose to collect homework on everybody that's in my class. Maybe I did. But I will say the tournament part afterwards, which I hope to see you pull in, is I'm expecting it to be something that's going to shake the entire 176 class. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first, let's see how I feel after I got to pull this kid Conrad. I don't know how destroyed my arm is going to be or not. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know there was an actual tournament. I thought there was going to be a lot of after pulling, which either way, I'm excited because I have a lot of friends that are coming up to New York, and I'm excited to hang out with them, excited to pull. So if I get to pull them in a tournament sense, that's even better. There's definitely some people that I want to re-grip up with now that got a few more years in the sport. Sadiel's one of them. I want to feel how strong he got.
Oh, yeah.
Want to pull Zach again, Zach Lee. I pulled him a lot at Winter Blast. That was fun. But yeah, if there's a tournament, what is it going to be? Is it like an open class? Is it going to be weight classes?
So it's going to be weight classes. We're going to have all the standard weight classes. 154, 176, 198, 220, 242, 243 plus. We're going to have a women's 154 and 155 plus, and the kids open. And it's going to be a no elimination tournament. What that means is it's going to be kind of like a round robin, if you may. And if we have more than 8 people per class, we'll have 2 separate 8-man round robin classes, and it's a points-based system. The most cleanest pins, meaning no fouls, plus a possible flash pin, wins. So at the end, so you'll be pulling everybody in your weight class. You're not coming in for 0-2. A lot of people are traveling far and wide for this. I don't like the, when I travel far and I go 0-2, it's like, man, I travel all this way for that.
Waste all this money for no reason. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I personally, I like the no elimination format for that reason, because then you also get to grip up and see all the levels. You get to gauge exactly where you stand in the pecking order in the class. So I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys, like the stamina pullers, right? You got the guys who have a gas tank like yourself, right? You may not be one of the faster guys, but you got one of the strength. You got a lot of power. I don't want. I'm assuming you're not that fast because of what I remember in Tennessee. But you haven't
seen. You haven't seen a lot of my recent stuff, have you?
No, I'll be honest. I have not seen a lot of the recent. So you picked up in the speed, huh?
So let's say back in October, I had a mindset. It was either hit or it's going to break. So I got my first flash pin was you heard about that? What is he? A Turkish dude, Iskander from Texas, waffle champion. Got a nice flash pin on him. Yep, and he didn't, he was a full power, 180 pounds, went right through him, right through him sideways where he was strong. So after that, I was like, okay, as long as I hit, it's not going to break. And no, the hit's been there ever since.
Okay. Uh-oh.
So
I
I'm
hope
real
Conrad's
happy with
watching.
that.
I hope Conrad's watching. I mean, I got to tell you, listen,
Oh,
Conrad.
right? Are we live? Conrad, I'm very slow. You didn't hear me say that.
So Conrad had a very convincing win. I don't know if you've ever faced him, Brian Malik, who I gotta say, Brian's got some strength and some speed, and I'm sure you have had matches with Brian in the past.
So
Right?
I can speak on this because I just pulled Brian.
Oh yeah.
And I talked to Brian about their match, and I've studied their match a lot in prep for Conrad. So when I talked to Brian at Winter Blast, again, this could just be people talking out of their ass. Brian said when he pulled Conrad, he had a shoulder injury, so he didn't have any side pressure. So he said he got that healed because I pulled him at Winter Blast, and I was pretty nervous to pull him because he's a real good hook puller. First time I pulled him completely wrong. Didn't know he high hooked, and he turned me over on my bicep, and I couldn't pull through him sideways. Second time I pulled him, still did the same thing, but I was able to blast through him sideways, and Reps missed a big elbow foul while he was trying to avoid the pin, and I definitely got burnt out while basically holding him at the pin pad for 5 seconds, and then I elbow fouled I reset, hit again, same thing, I elbow fouled, and then he ended up getting a pin on me. But he said when he pulled me, he was like 40% stronger than when he pulled Conrad, and he said it would be a very interesting match. He wants to watch that to see what would happen.
I think it's going to be one of the more interesting matches actually on the card. I'm actually very intrigued by it because I do think Conrad does belong up there in the top 20. I've had a match with him, and he he's just increasingly stronger and stronger. I mean, he's also young. He's young, I think 22 years old or something like that. Very young, full of piston vinegar. The kid's all upper body, like he has like no legs type of deal.
Sounds like somebody you know.
But he's he's definitely a strong dude. We have one of your other Northeast arch nemesis, or trying to be your arch nemesis, up in
I know he could try.
He's trying to become.
He's really trying.
He calls himself the GOAT, or he's been dubbed the GOAT. And I love you, Yusuf, but I'm going to say it. The GOAT means one of two things: greatest of all time, which I do not believe is Yusuf. I'm sorry, Yusuf, or the goofiest of all time. And I think that suits him very well. I love it. I love you, Yusuf, brother. And when that left is feeling good and healthy, I'm taking it down. That being said, we got some more other people in the chat too. We got Paul Stevens. What's up, man? Jeremy Parker. Congrats on getting that match with Auden. I'm looking forward to watching that. It will be live. It will be playing the same day as my event. We will be watching it on screen. I will be playing it. So in between our matches, we'll be getting, blow by blow type of deal. I might be bringing the TV outside so that way we can all watch it. Yes, Yusuf. Either way, you are the GOAT. Go eat some grass right now in the backyard. So you mentioned a couple of names that I'm looking forward to seeing matches with, like Samuel versus Zach. That's going to be a good one, I think.
So I know who's going to win that. I already have my favorite based on, because I pulled both of them left hand. Listen, man, I love Zach. He's cool. He's a cool dude. I don't know if his left is gonna be able to handle Sadiel. I can't touch Sadiel's left. He's disgusting. And I could be wrong. I haven't pulled Sadiel in 2 years, But when I pulled his right, very easy. When I pulled his left, couldn't do anything to him. It was like I was a child. I pulled Zach at Winter Blast. I have lanes against Zach, and I have some wins against Zach. So we'll see.
I will say,
Sadiel is a different animal right now.
In regards to Zach, as long as he's healthy and it goes to strap, I'm going to say it leans into Zach.
Zach is smarter. I know that. He knows what he's doing. If he can get what he wants in the strap, he's got a very good chance. I think Sadiel's going to surprise some people, though. You'll see. Have you ever gripped up with Sadiel?
Admittedly, I don't think I've ever gripped up with Sadiel, so I don't have as much information and knowledge. But I had gripped up lefty with Zach, and he was injured, but I caught the first Winter Blast. I actually caught him. I beat him twice, and I got myself second place. I think it was there. So I know. Oh, Yusuf, that's cute. He thinks he's gonna make me feel like a child left-handed.
Gonna beat you like a child left-handed?
Yeah.
Isn't he a child?
Right? That's what I thought. I was like, this is a, above 25 chat, sit down.
Yeah, this should be age restricted. You have to have people verify your ID.
Listen, grab the juice box. Well, I don't know. Do they have juice boxes up there in Boston you can reach?
Poor kid.
Oh, man.
From every direction.
Listen, left-handed, it's feeling really healthy for myself. Oh, you see, he was talking to you. Apparently.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He messages me when I'm like, bro, I was drunk at Hooters with my friends, and I get a random message request from this kid, and I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, I'm going to beat you left-handed in a year. And I'm like laughing with all my friends. And then I like look him up and see he had a match on the card. So I was watching it, waiting for a call out. I knew it was coming. I knew if he won, he was going to call me out. That's why I screen recorded it. It was so funny.
He's definitely an entertaining individual. And and I will say, I love the outfits this guy shows up in. He definitely wears a very patriotic, United States and patriotic outfit. So I look forward to seeing what he brings to the table this time around.
Listen, man, all the power to him. If he could get strong enough to beat me left-handed in a year, I would love that, because that would be great promotional material leading up to that match.
You know what? We should, at some point, maybe, a fatal three-way type of deal or something like that, because my left's feeling spicy.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
They definitely, I will say, the Nationals. Did you catch the Nationals?
I was streaming it. I forgot what else I was doing that day. What day was Nationals again?
It was the 25th, April 25th. Saturday.
I was watching that. I think something else was going on that day that I was watching as well. I was streaming both. That's what it was. Yeah. I was watching yours and I was watching Natty Bros. The classes were so big at Nationals. It was so hard to keep up with because none of them were labeled.
I know. It was definitely a challenge to keep up with that. But it's there were some really strong left-handed pullers. Actually, one of them in the chat. What's up, Chase? He was very dominant in that class. Did a very good job there. But there was 25 people at the 172 weight class. 25. And Chase delivered one of my pins, but the other pin that I got was, I think, a questionable foul. I got knocked out. Involved with that, but right-handed. The only person that pinned me the whole day was Corey Miller. The whole weekend.
I've been on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, and he was gentle too. I was like, I went a hit, and then I realized it was just like, all right, there's no contest here. I was like, go ahead, do what you got to do.
Yeah, man, Corey's a freak. He's always strong.
So Let's see. What other matches that are on the card that you're excited about?
All my friends that are pulling, like Kong, I'm excited to see Kong. Who's Aiden pulling?
Aiden is pulling Sadio.
Right hand, right?
Yeah, right-handed. He's got nobody left-handed.
I think that's real close. I'm excited to see that because it's, hook versus press, but Aiden's also got a really nasty hook, so that'll be fun. I'm literally drawing a blank because I was looking at the list. There's a lot of matches that I want to see.
So, so in your journeys down to Puerto Rico, did you ever get to meet Rosario? The young kid who's newer to the sport. I don't think he's actually competing, but I think he was like present, maybe. He's a
I
young
don't know him
kid,
by name.
but he actually he. I've seen some footage of him holding Sadio.
What's his name?
Rosario. Rosario. I think his name is.
What weight class?
He's like 154, bro. Yeah, I know. He's
That's
going up against
time, right?
he's going up against Chris Michaels. You know who that is, right?
Never heard of that.
So Chris Michaels is probably like the most active 154 in the nation. He's out of New York, and this guy not only is he the most active, but he's really good. He's pulled in multiple weight classes. He's one of those guys that goes all the way up to the 198s and places. He places in every single class type of deal. This kid, said that he wanted to test himself against the best of the best. And so I reached out to a couple, and Chris was one of the first. I showed him Chris, and he said, "Yep, I'll take it." And I was like, "Do you know what you're signing up for?" And everyone in Puerto Rico is very, very convinced that this is, a breakout match of this young phenom. So to my point earlier, if not given an opportunity to level up and show the community what this young man can do, how is he going to grow? And how is he going to help other new people in the sport grow?
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I actually like the Jeremy match against Auden. I'm rooting for Jeremy. I met him down at the Monster Factory. He's a nice kid. I had him on the show a few times. Don't get me wrong. Auden, I love the Lorette family. I love everyone there. But I'm Jeremy. I find him to be the underdog because he doesn't have Devin as a coach. Monster is a great coach. No, don't get me wrong, but I do think that Jeremy is the underdog, and I hope he does take out the win. But let's see. We got some guys local from you as well. Ben Hughes taking on Joe Yaros.
Said local to me?
Oh, I mean, Florida. That's a big state. Big Ben, they call him. He trains with Craig Soublier.
I know Craig.
He's like he's a really big. No, he's a really big dude that trains. He's like 270 pounds, 280.
I know so many of these people by face. Like, I've probably met him. I just don't know him by name.
That's fair. That's fair. Is there anybody else from Florida coming up with you?
My wife.
I don't have anyone on the roster, but anybody you're bringing up with you?
Yeah, my wife and probably one of my kids, but probably just my wife. Now we're gonna make a little vacation out of it. It'll be fun.
Bring the kids too, because we're gonna have
No, bro, you don't want those kids there.
we are gonna have like a carnival style situation though. We're gonna have games. We're gonna have kids divisions. We're gonna have food that's gonna be like carnival style food. So that in that regard, it is a very family friendly event. So you're more than welcome to bring them. But if you're telling me this, I mean, I have an 11-year-old son. I'll put him in charge.
No, man, I got almost a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old. It would not be a good time. I promise.
It would make for an interesting story.
Yeah, you'd have to have like a playpen to gate them off somewhere in your yard.
I mean, I do have a place where I have the dog run. I can just make sure that's all cleaned up and ready.
I'll go buy some harnesses to attach them to. We'll be good.
My bad. I lost connection for a moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So tell me about the pit. So it looked like you're like doing a lot of construction on it, making it like badass. Like what's going on with that?
So it's really the actual training site is a detached garage. I gutted it all out. I painted it all up. I put um sheetrock with insulation, so year round I have a nice warm space. And then on the outside of it, I put a second doorway leading onto a 10 by 10 deck, which is the stage, and it's covered by a 20 by 12-foot awning,
Mhm.
pavilion style thing. And I have about like just about under a half acre of open land, um, right on either side of it, type of deal. So it's going to be surrounded by people. It's going to be horseshoeing around it. I'm going to have the cameras going to be pointing. It's going to be a different style angle. Very much going to be like almost kind of similar to what this angle is that you see me right now, but the table will be centered, of course. It's going to be raised above, and then I have a stone patio that's going to be like the second staging. So during the tournament, when we have the amateurs, they'll be on the stone patio, and then the pros will be on the 10 by 10 deck. Um, and then we're going to have a 30-foot airstream that's converted into a restaurant on wheels serving cooked to order food.
Okay.
We're going to have the blow up games. So as I mentioned, we have a blow up axe wall and a blow up target board type of deal.
Mhm.
Games like that. And then we'll have a whole bunch of active pool tables all surrounding the event. A buddy of mine with a drone will be recording everything. We're going to have, because it is predominantly outside, so the drone will be flying around capturing some cool content. The Natty Bros are going to be here. They're going to be doing behind the scenes. They're going to be doing interviews. They'll be probably in the actual pit itself. That I have my mat table and all my equipment, all the gym equipment that I utilize, and they'll be talking to people, about their journey in arm wrestling and just about their personal lives type of deal. And yeah, I got a fire pit. So at the end of the tournament, I'll be lighting up the fire pit. It's a nice, decent size, like a four, let's say about a 4-foot fire pit.
Okay.
That we'll be all hanging out and just chilling. Got a giant rope swing type of deal in my in the backyard. It's like those like spider web nets.
Yeah.
It's like a 4 foot thing. So that's what I'm saying. I have things for the kids to do. If kids want to do it, if they don't, they don't have to. One year I actually had a water slide here, but barely any kids came. So I was like, I'm not investing into getting one of those again. Figure I'll do something a little bit easier, less to manage and maintain. Um, but let's see what else we got. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have snow cones because it is summer. You can't have a summer without snow cones. And I'm going to talk to the ice cream, and we're going to be serving soft serve as well. But I'm also talking to the local guy that drives around ice cream and say, hey, listen, you're going to want to stop here at some point because we're all going to be hot and sweaty, and we're going to want to cool off with some good ice cream. We got a couple more people in the chat. Aiden is in the chat. We were just talking about you, man. Yusuf is still squawking about something. And then we got Katie Hankey. Did I pronounce that last name right? It's Hank or Hanky? I don't know. You gotta let me know, Katie. I don't like butchering people's names if I can help it. So now for you, what is your prep period? When you taper down for a tournament, because we're just under a month away, right? We know you program everything. So how do you program your taper down and your rest period?
So I've been playing with it a lot. A couple years ago when I hired a coach, he had me rest the last 10 days and not do any table time for the last 30. It was hit or miss, like if I felt connected or not, because it was such a long rest period from my last training day.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally now, last table time will be roughly 3 to 4 weeks out still, but I'll train until Sunday before. So I'll rest, Monday through Friday, and I'll treat that week as like a weight cut week. If I need to do some blood flow stuff to feel it, I'll do that. I try to hit a very heavy, like a back pressure day or like a hook power day. So if like a hook side.
Oh,
Somebody, did I disconnect?
yeah, you did.
No, I'm back. I'll try to train one or two real heavy movements about 2 weeks out to kind of
Okay.
test to make sure everything feels connected. And then from there, I'll taper down to a couple blood flow days. So whatever I just did. So if I did partials with like 120 pounds for a top set of 8, the next time I go in, I might only work up to 50s or 60s for a few sets of 10 to 15. And then some other ancillary exercises just for my hand. And then I'll just do that, a few days. And then by Sunday, I hit my last workout. That might just be a bodybuilding day, chest, shoulders, and then train my hand a little bit.
Gotcha. What I do is actually before like a tournament or a super match, my last day of table time is 10 days out, but it's reduced heavily. I don't take any hits. I don't get torn open. I communicate very heavily with my training partners. Like, don't bring me past here, please. Don't bring me past center table. It's just like working center table stuff. Um, and but then I actually continue working out, reducing the weight that I work out with, like all the way up. Yeah, let's say I'll do a cool down workout after arm wrestling practice. And then from that point forward, I go from I decrease by every 10-15% of what I do until the day of. And then day of, I'll do just a blood flow work. And I feel like that helps with the connectivity issue because I started off with doing a longer rest period, which I felt rested and I had no pain, but I wasn't firing. You know what I mean? I didn't have I felt sluggish, like I was in molasses almost. I felt like unstoppable if I could get into my position, but I just wasn't getting there. So I too have experimented a little bit with it, and I'm still experimenting and seeing how things go with it. For instance, I have a super match the following week, right after the summer kickoff. So I am not, and it's right-handed, and I'm going to enter the tournament as well. So both arms. So I'm really not going to be doing much pulling at my own event for the first time. In the past I've actually pulled at my own event and then went and pulled a tournament. I may or may not. I don't know yet. I've had good success in the last year I did that. Like last year, I pulled at my own event, and then I pulled at Keystones, and I won Keystones. I went undefeated. So maybe I should pull. Maybe I should, but I should limit how much I pull. I shouldn't pull like crazy. We got King of New York in the house, Paul Cruz, the main line of one of the main matches going up against Sir Ray Brown. Are you familiar with that match?
I remember now that they're pulling. Paul is my dog. We hung out for a few hours after Winter Blast, getting absolutely smacked at some restaurant. I don't know. We were just smashing beers, eating food. He's a good time. Paul's cool.
Real good people, real good friend of mine. Strong dude. I'm looking forward to his match. I definitely think that it's going to be a better match than some might think, because Surrey has gone through a major weight loss transformation, and he's dialed in. Like I've never seen him. I met him, and he looks very focused. And it excites me whenever I see someone who gets dialed in because I too went through a weight loss. So when I first came into the sport, I was 270 pounds. And yeah, I know. Like, where was I carrying it? It was all
Yeah,
here.
I'm gonna
I
say we're the
was
same height.
exactly. It was all in. I was all upper body. I mean, I had pretty big legs, and but my belly was the first thing that entered the room. And I was very unhealthy. So arm wrestling helped save my life in that regard. What are some things that arm wrestling has done for you in your personal life?
It keeps me consistent. So when I was doing powerlifting or when I did bodybuilding, I would take like 6 months off. So I would like prep for something, lock in for 10 weeks, and then compete. And then I would take 6 months off. With arm wrestling, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I still have the drive to be the best possible version I can be. And I want to beat, I've got people that I haven't beat yet. So that's my Mount Everest. So I keep grinding. Even if I've got nothing planned, I still go to the gym and I'll do my workouts and I'll still have fun with it. But yeah, it keeps me consistent and it keeps me motivated because there's always somebody better. With powerlifting, it's just me hitting better numbers, and I'm beating myself at that point. But when I have like my eye on the prize, like, I got this guy down in Florida. I'm not even the best in Florida, man. And I'm pretty good, but I'm not even the best in Florida. I've been chasing this kid, George Whitfield, for a while. And
Yeah, I know
the
George.
the closer I get, the farther he gets. Like I'm skyrocketing my progress, and I feel like I'm not even going to touch this man. So, I've got a few people that are, that I've got, my eye on. So it again, yeah, it just keeps me consistent. I've made so many friends. Every sport's like this, though. Powerlifting, bodybuilding. I met a lot of cool people, but not as many people as I have with arm wrestling. I've got a lot of lifetime friends now.
It's definitely built a strong community because I think I could be wrong, but other strength sports require a certain personality, like a certain lifestyle. Whereas arm wrestling really is an open door policy, in my opinion. Anybody and everybody, all walks of life, from mechanics to executives, participate. And, when we're building something new, we all have a common goal. Do we all get along all the time? No. There's some people who, even locally are trying to, stick it to me a little bit, but that's the nature of competition, right? You know, we're always competitive, and that's just humanity. You see something that someone else is doing, I want a piece of it. Um, but that's neither here nor there when we're talking about the friends and camaraderie that we have in. Because on the other side of that coin of the activity, there's that side of positivity that is epic. Like I had some of the best friends, the best conversations. Paul Cruz, being one of them. Like when I'm going through something that's not necessarily something I want to talk to my own family about, I've actually leaned on the arm wrestling community, which is kind of
Mhm.
cool. It is like a true family. It's a chosen family at that. Um, so couple of housekeeping things I wanted to announce. Shed a little more light on again. Send It Arm Wrestling not only has sponsored not only sponsored athletes and not only sponsored promotions, so like for instance this one, we're going to be giving out I wish I had it today, but it's going to be at the next podcast. Um, we're giving out two $250 gifts to get you to the next MAC event if you win. So it's going to be randomized. Two out of the 25 matches that we have will be recipients of it, and they have to win the match to be able to get it. But they also are sponsoring me as a podcast and me as an athlete myself. Um, because I'm while I'm 40, man, I'm trying to do the best I can be, kind of like what you said. I still have that drive. I've been in the sport for 6 years. I'm willing to leave no stone unturned and trying to be the best version of me. So big shout out to Send It On Fights for helping me do so. And anybody who is interested in partnering with me or being a sponsor, please feel free to reach out to me. I have a lot of different sponsorship packages and ideas and concepts that I can work with. So I'll be happy to help another entity grow as well. um, so every super match winner is going to win one of these bad boys. As you can see, this thing's not little. It is wall mounted, or you can just stand it up on your trophy shelf. Also comes with a light. You can plug it in and it lights up. It's a pretty badass thing. It is the logo for Mac and for Summer Kickoff event. And if you win match of the night, got this gnarly looking hand. Almost reminds me a little bit of Matt Mask's hand a little bit. This thing is freaking badass. So match of the night for the tournament and for the super matches will be eligible to win one of these bad boys. Now, I think this might pique your interest in the event you decide to pull the tournament. Anybody who wants to pull in the tournament will be eligible to win one of these bad boys, either arm. This is a 2.5 foot, 5 kg hammer. For those who don't know, 5 kg is about 12 pounds. The 12-pound custom hammer. It will be engraved. I have yet to do that, but it's going to be engraved Summer Kickoff, and I have one for each arm. So I'm giving out a lot of different things, and we have one more award that's on its way. It should be here tomorrow. So the next podcast we will have from Grip Deck. Zach Surgeon will have custom-made Grip Deck handles. Those I don't know. Are you familiar with Grip Deck? Have you seen those things? No.
There's a lot of brands out there, man, that I'm not familiar with that are awesome.
Oh, give me a second. I think I have one in here. Oh, man. I did not come prepared. Leave it to me to not come prepared. Well, I don't have their handle, so I could show a product that I do have in here. My apologies, Zach. I failed this city. But you've probably seen the Grip Deck grenade.
What is that, like an eccentric handle, but in a grenade shape?
Yep, it's an off. So it has 2 holes, so you can have it centered or offset, and it attacks the fuck out of your fingertips. It just wants to peel your fingertips open. You don't need a lot of weight to it either, because it literally digs in right to the fingertips when you're pulling on it, and it's pretty big. I got small hands, so it feels pretty big to my hand. I find it to be very beneficial for containment purposes. I find it very beneficial for cupping and maintaining that shelf, because all too often people want to close their hand, but they don't realize if you just keep your hand caged, then you're doing a lot better job containing more efficiently. And this helps in that regard. We are going to be getting not one of these, but a custom. It is a gripper that you squeeze, mostly for blood flow purposes, but you can use it to train up a little bit with your hand and increase your hand strength. While I have small hands, I think I have a pretty decent sized thumb, and it does help in that regard. They're going to be gold branded for the event. Yeah, no, it's going to be an amazing thing. Oh, we got Liam in the chat, which is one of my training partners. What's up, man? TJ Bennett says Mac is awesome. We got Kong saying, what's up? What's up? Shiyu Lin in the house. For those of you who don't know who Shiyu Lin is, he just became national champion left-handed, and he took 3rd place to 2 top-ranked pullers in the top 15 in Arm Fighter, right-handed. Wayne Withers and I think somebody else. And he's not normally super heavy. He's about 230, range. He put on some weight to match up against these behemoths, and he was like one of the smallest guys in there, and he still got third place, right-handed, first place left. So he's going to be going to nationals with me, representing the United States and New York. We got a lot of things doing a lot of big things together by way of raising funds. Because with the other things, we're trying to raise funds for our trip to Japan. So any brand that wants to be a part of that, please contact me. Yes, TJ, Chiyu Lin is an absolute beast. Very technical puller. He's been dubbed the supercomputer by Ian Carnegie. His intelligence at the table, his table IQ is unreal. Massive explosive. Dude, really good guy. We got Alexis is in the chat as well. We got Timothy Bushy, Mount Washington Valley Arms, everybody who's on this show. Please come check out all these amazing awards we're going to be giving out. Well, not giving out. You're going to have to earn them. And you have to kick ass while doing so. And listen, I like seeing and highlighting each individual, right? But even though you may not win or collect one of these, you're still going to get the opportunity to have an interview with the Natty Bros. You're still going to have an opportunity to be scouted by some of the top productions in the industry. We have, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jason Constantini from Table Monkeys, the guy who runs TOF, Team Arm Wrestling Federation. Mm-hmm. He is going to be present and scouting out talent. And I do know that there is a Florida segment that they're looking to build up on. So being one of the few guys coming from Florida, you're going to get, eyes on you a little sooner than other Floridians. So that's going to be kind of cool. But also there's other organizations that will be present, Natty Bros, and another entity is looking to start a bigger thing out of New Jersey. So listen, I'm all for funneling the talent elsewhere. This is not the Ritz-Carlton. The Pit is called the Pit for a reason. It is not the end-all be-all. It is a pit stop on your journey on the way up to the top. You will stop in here. You'll have fun. You'll hang out with the arm wrestling crowd. You know firsthand how much energy the Puerto Ricans bring to any event they're at. And stateside, I think we have more Puerto Ricans competing than ever before. So I'm excited for that energy level. I don't know, like your last experience with them, what was it like? So people don't just get my word for it.
Dude, they're the most hospitable people I've ever met. I've gone down to Puerto Rico a few times now, and no, man, it's a blast. Not just the arm wrestlers, man, their whole culture. It's awesome. We stayed in some pretty shady looking areas, and everybody was super nice still. I left my wallet in a bar, and I walked back from like a mile, and they were just laughing at me because it was still sitting right there. They didn't touch it. Everybody's super cool, man. But no, the arm wrestlers, it was weird. It feels like they're not used to people coming down to see them. So like they want to like take pictures with you and stuff because they're not used to, people coming there to arm wrestle. So it'll be real cool to have them come up here because we've been trying to get them to come back up to Florida for a while. And it's always like bad timing. So yeah, that's why I'm excited. I haven't seen some of my Puerto Rican friends in a while.
I haven't seen them since last year, and I miss them. I am half Puerto Rican, so it's my heritage. It's our family, and they're always going to be welcome here. I'm sorry, Tyler couldn't make it. It looks like he had some car problems, and so he wasn't able to make it tonight. That being said, are you familiar with who Tyler Edelen is?
No, I hate to say it, but no, there's so many people in this sport. I will be familiar with him after I get a chance to meet him and grip up with him, but Who is the other guy on the podcast?
TJ, that's Jeff. That's Jeff from Florida.
Nobody knows me. I'm very unknown, very underground.
Well, after this event, you won't be, man. You won't be. Now, with all the other events that are taking place, because I gotta say, it brings up every podcast now. Oh wow, the chat's blowing up. We got Zach, Gripdex eventer. Hey Zach, I just showed off the grenades. I forgot the other one inside the house, but I was just showing off the Gripdex grenade that I love and I use regularly. And then we got Paul Surrey's in the chat. Nice, what's up? TJ's also very much underground himself. But okay, so with all the events that are happening, so we got my event, we got Arizona States, which is their 10th year doing it with Tim Talmadge. Then we got East First West over by Monster Michael Todd in Arkansas. I think there's one actually down in Florida as well. And then there's one in the Carolinas. So do you have a message for all arm wrestlers, period, regarding all these amazing events that are happening?
If you can stream it, stream it. If you can be there, go be there. Don't miss out on anything going on that weekend, because no matter what you watch, it's going to be a banger. You're going to have friends competing somewhere. So go enjoy it and support the sport.
That, in my opinion, is the best message ever. It's proof that the sport's growing. I'm excited that we're on the precipice of it, like exploding into another realm. That, all the strength athletes that are coming into the sport. She usually, well, definitely one of your cheerleaders over there. And he's from New York, so you better watch out with him. And so everybody, you can find Geoff on Instagram and Facebook. Just your name.
Instagram is Geoff the Butcher, and my Facebook, it's just Geoff Boettjer.
Okay. That was my next question, and I meant to open up with that. How do I pronounce it? It's Boettjer?
Boettjer, like
Boettjer.
Bet, and then churs, like Betcher. That's how it's pronounced.
Oh my God. Got it. Because I've been butchering that name for a while now. I'm sure everyone does.
Yeah, when people mispronounce it, I know what they're trying to say, so it doesn't even bother me anymore.
That's fair. You know what? You got to on your profile. You have to find out how to phonetically say it and type it out. So that way it helps people out. Any people, because listen, this is not going to be your last podcast you're going to be on. You're going to be on other people's podcasts after this event. Win or lose with your match, you're going to have an amazing time moving forward from the sport. I'm grateful. Thank you for trusting me and coming to bring your arms to my tables. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again in just under a month, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thankful for the opportunity. And listen, you said win or lose. I don't plan on losing. Okay. Conrad, I hope you hear that. I'm not coming to lose. I'm not traveling all that way and bringing my wife up there. You're not coming very far. I'm flying up to come see you. I'm taking that arm 3-0.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, it's Flex Friday. It's not Friday. Today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's always Flex Friday.
All right. Fair enough. So, other than my event, is there anything coming down the pipeline for you?
My buddy's doing a super match card 3 weeks after. I got a right arm match with Brandon Morris, 200-pound weight cap. After that, I don't think I have anything planned. I was waiting until after I pull Conrad before I start piecing together the rest of the year. Because there's definitely people I want to pull. The 16th, I'm driving up to Justin's practice So that'll be fun. I'll get to grip up with some of them. My boy Colton, I haven't pulled with him in a while. So I'd like to set something up with Colton sometime this year, depending on how he feels when I pull him next Saturday and how I do against Conrad.
That's fair. I almost forgot something. I know you know this name, John Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah, my boy John.
I see that I scared him out of the weight class because now he's up, he looks like, he's 200 pounds or whatever, and he's still climbing. He's afraid of coming back down to the 76s, huh?
I think I got everybody in the habit of training more arm wrestling workouts instead of table time down in Florida, because it seems like everybody that I'm friends with they put on 20 pounds. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Well, tell John, come back down and wait. We'll have a rematch because I owe him a redemption, even though it was a 3-2 loss for me. And I'm coming in with a vengeance.
Hey, he still talks about you to this day, man. He said the win over you is his best win ever. He talks about it often.
I appreciate that. That was definitely, I was in a very interesting place in my life at that time. I've definitely stabilized a lot more, and I feel a lot more connected. I would love to run it back. Yeah, obviously closer. We can close. I think we had around about 10-pound disparity, which I'm okay with. If that's the case, there's 10 pounds difference. Let's keep it at that. But yeah, let's run it back.
Yeah, no, I remember that match, man. You looked disgusting pulling John, because I knew that's when I first met John, was right before then, and I knew he was good. And then watching him struggle with you, I was like, oh fuck, this guy's the real deal.
It was a lot of fun. It was my first match back at 176, because just 2 months prior I was pulling 154.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at like 165, 166, somewhere in that range. And I was on my way back up, struggling to get back up because I don't program, like I said. So gaining that weight was a challenge. Overeating and under training, or not under training, but under cardioing, just kind of collecting all that weight. Oh shit, we got Carly in the chat. What's up, man? You met Carly, right? When you were down in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I was there when when my buddy tore his bicep off.
Oh shit.
Sorry, Carly, for bringing that up. I know that's still a little sore wound, but
yeah,
Carly's cool, man.
Carly's good people.
Yeah, Carly's awesome. Everybody down there, man, again, super hospitable. Like, it's hard to put into words how nice everybody was. And, they all just want to learn from each other. The energy, it's different. It's just so different.
Well, speaking of energy, I've been starting the show and closing out the show with the same video to promote all the matches and all the sponsors. So without further ado, we're going to do one more showing of this. I don't know if you've gotten eyes on it, but here it is now.
Summer Kickoff 6. Mac Challenger Series. Thumbs. Hands. Don't move! Go! Don't move! Go! Skin, chalk in the air. Step to the table if you really dare. Call your match, pick your hand. Only one leaves, you're the winner. Pressure hits when the crowd gets loud. No backing down when you're in this crowd. Built from pain, grip don't slip. All gas, no brakes. Enter the pen. Heartbeat pounding, no escape. Thumbs, hands, don't move, go! Summer Make it quick, you either win or you get pinned. One clean hit.
There you go. There
That
it
was
is. I gotta say, AI is so much fun. That song is completely AI generated. The lyrics, I designed the lyrics, but then I pumped it into it, and it just gets me hyped up every time. I want to compete in the tournament, and with all the monsters that are going to be there for the 176 class, I don't know if I want to
You
put
kind of
myself
have
to the
to
test.
now.
But then I'm going to a super match in Oregon with Jody Williams, this guy Peter Leland. I'm going all the way across the country. Like you're coming up north, I'm going up out west, man. The following week, God bless Jody and his LLD Foundation, Long Live Dono, and everything that he's about. I am, I'm supportive of it, and I'm facing against one of the top 176 guys, Peter Leland. Um, and I'm just gonna rip his arm right out of the socket and then come back home with it from Morgan. This is what's
It's a
gonna
nice
happen,
trophy to come home with.
right? Just accidentally fall on the table. We gotta catch a video. Somebody who's got a really good camera is gonna catch a video like, oh, I tripped and I fell onto
Yeah.
a hook into pinning someone.
Yeah. No, that'd be a really funny video to make.
Yeah, right.
You're just talking to somebody, you accidentally trip, you fall, and then you're landing right into somebody's hand as they're saying "ready, go," and you get the pin on them.
I was supposed to arm wrestle. I did. I just tripped and fell into the pin pad.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Geoff, thank you. We are going to be taking a little hiatus because we have the Bob Brown seminar next week. If anybody's interested locally, wants to come and participate, it is an $80 charge for the weekend for the whole seminar. But then on Sunday from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we are going to do an open practice at no charge. And then we'll go from there. Right. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you that's local to come out and support, Bob Brown taking the trip from Utah to teach us how to arm wrestle. Because you don't know what you don't know, right? I might be following that new programming method after that time. And then our next show will be that Sunday night afterwards with we have Michael Hawks and Eric Johansson joining us. So, Geoff, again, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy life and to join us. I look forward to meeting you or seeing you again, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Again, thanks for having me on the podcast. It was a fun conversation. I'm really excited to come see all my friends again, come pull with you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Real excited to see what it's like to pull on a Mac table too. That'll be a first.
That's going to be a fun time, man. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Oh yeah.